Here is my presentation for my action taken to address my wicked problem, which is drugs. For my presentation planning, the first thing I did was brainstorm ideas for the design. I jotted down notes as the second thing on how I would organize my slides. Lastly, I created a layout of each of my slides' information. I did not come across any significant challenges with planning my presentation. Next, for planning for my action, the first thing I did was create my flyer and provide resources. I included contact information for treatment centers, crisis and helplines, and mental health support. Secondly, I drafted my mission statement to include why I wanted to create a flyer to address my global issue or wicked problem. Lastly, I planned to go around town to hang my flyer or leave copies on community bulletin boards. I searched Google to find local places that would accept my flyer and places I should avoid. I initially wanted to go to places in my city where drugs and users are known to be to hand out my flyer to those people. However, I retracted that idea after a classmate brought to my attention that some people would not appreciate someone coming up to them to give them resources for drug treatment. So to explain the action with the people involved and what they did and did it go according to plan. To address my wicked problem, I created a flyer with resource information to advertise on community bulletin boards around my city. I was the only person involved in my action, so I completed all the work. My plan went smoothly and I hung my flyer or left copies at a few community bulletin boards in libraries and community centers around my town. So here is my completed flyer with resources for treatment centers, crisis hotlines, and mental health support. I included my mission statement on the flyer to make my action more genuine and personal. Hopefully you guys can read the flyer. If you need to, you can probably pause the video so that you can read it. And so here's some photographs of my flyer and some community bulletin boards that I was able to leave it at. So I successfully left copies of my flyers at the Mill Creek Community Center and hung flyers on bulletin boards at Hunter Library and Kearns Library. I also attempted some locations. I attempted to hang my flyer at the Kearns Oker Park Fitness Center, Mill Creek Library, and Holiday Library, but permission was needed from specific personnel. I left a copy of my flyer with the workers, and they said they would pass it along to the director of their organization for approval. The positive effect I intended by hanging my flyers was accomplished. The director at the Kearns Library was very grateful for my flyer. She told me she could not recently help people in the community who asked about resources like the ones I included in my flyer because she did not know of any. She kept a copy of my flyer for herself and eagerly hung my flyer on the community bulletin board. She told me I should also make a copy of my flyer in Spanish to hang on the board. I think more people should do activities like this because it is never truly known who could use help finding resources for things like drug treatment centers, crisis and helplines, and mental health support. My planned action felt very small at first, but now I would consider doing this again in the future. I would also consider other actions like personally handing out my flyer at community events. So a reflection for my action. My action had a profound impact on me. I felt thrilled that all the places I went to hang my flyer said yes in some way. As my mission statement said, I hope my flyer helps someone take the first step to ask for help. I genuinely hope my flyer reaches someone who can use the resources I have provided. This action has inspired me to continue looking for ways that I can help people in my community find resources like these. I am pondering other resources like veteran support and single parent household support. And that is all for my presentation. Thank you for watching.